ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the School of Science. My name is Luke, and this is the Everton Stadium update. Now, as we go over the site today, the main ones to be looking at the moment are the east and west stands. So, as we go past each one of them, I'll be able to talk about all the updates and everything. So, you can actually see on the east stands at the moment, you can see there is some steel structure sitting in on the base, right by where the fan plaza is. That stuff is going to be going up in the very near future. So what's going to happen is the crane, as you can see right here, that is now coming down. So in its place, you're going to start seeing the steel structures all coming around the east stand. I think this is the main reason why that's been built and has been put into place. It's just the fact that the crane at this point in time is in the way. The good thing is though, seeing that crane going down is a massive step forward in the development of the stadium. It just says that these 4 areas are now done. Not going to be putting any more stuff in terms of the concrete stuff in place in regards to in the upper terraces and above the ground. The only things that will be going into place now in terms of the concrete raker beam pieces, I've probably got that wrong completely, but in regards to those coming in, they're going to just be the ones around the pitch, and they can be moved quite easily with the yellow cranes that we've got in place at the moment. Now, as we go over to the south stand, you can see there's not too much that's been done around the south stand. It's more just a lot of the stuff, as I've said in the previous videos. It's just stuff that's going to be going in and around behind the scenes, so like electric, gas, plumbing, yada yada yada. You know what you've heard it before from me. But one thing on the externally, you can see that's a decent little update is the brick facade that's coming into place. So the structure is, well, it is meant to have the cross members in place. Now, it might just be because I'm looking out from the drone. I can't really see them all too clearly. And I think once they're all in place, these are things that will become apparent as we go around and have a look at it in a more closer fashion. I think just with it being segmented at the moment, this is one thing that we're going to be missing. But as we look around, you can actually take note of the east and west stands as we move across. You can see that everything is in place and it does look nice. Without the seating and everything, it is a little bit bare bones right now. But it does look nice to just look and admire how far we've come over the course of a year. This time last year, I do believe we were starting on the south and north stands, and it was just very bare bones stuff. I think we could still see the concrete power caps and everything back then. So for everything to be where it is right now is just amazing to see how quick we've went over the course of a year. And it's going to be even more amazing still in the coming year, just because at that point they are predicting that the stadium should be around 80 to 90% complete by then. Now, as we go over the west stand, I do apologise, but this one might actually, you'll probably see that the drone may stop midway. This is just down to the fact that my signal did cut out as we were doing this, and it was a bit unfortunate. But this is mostly down to the fact that right now, because of the height of the stadium, we can't do all 4 stands of the stadium by simply just sitting on Blackstone Street. I've got to move myself to get to the other areas. So as you can see right now, we have stopped there. I was going to cut this, but it would just mess too much with the development of the video and everything. So right now I'm in Central Quay piloting the drone, and it's probably close to a kilometer from where I am to where the drone is right now. Now bear in mind, this is still within line of sight. So if you're not 100% sure what I mean by line of sight, it basically just means I have to be basically looking at where the drone is in a rough area and know where the drone is going. Now, what's going to happen is we're going to actually move around, and you can see the barrel structure sort of metal framing that is in place for the west stands as we come around, and you can see we're pretty much around halfway for that part. So what's going to happen is once all of them are in place, we're going to move to the next staging of it, where you're going to have a few more pieces that are going to be attached to it, and they're going to link up to the south and north stand, making that into a more solid structure. So that's going to be the same for the east stand as well, but for the time being, it's pretty much going to be west stand focused. But you can also see in the ground as well, on the ground, you can see the barrel structure for the next piece. So that's probably going to be going on within the next week to 2 weeks. So that's definitely one to be looking forward to in the future. And again, it's the brick facades all coming together as well. So on the west stand, it's pretty close to completion. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how they work around the next stage. So what's going to happen is where you can see the Lango Rig logo, that's going to be having to be brought out, and the staircase and everything's going to come into place soon as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how those come along when we are at that point. It's something to look forward to, definitely. So if you're not familiar too much with my videos, or this is the first time coming onto the channel, I'd like to say hello, welcome to the channel. But what will probably happen is, well, what does happen on this channel is we like to we focus on points of the stadium as it's getting built. So when it came time for infilling, we focused on the infilling. When it was doing the four corners, we focused on them. When we were getting pieces coming in, we focus on things bit by bit. So sometimes we do miss smaller things. So if you are maybe working on the site, or whether you've noticed something that I've missed in these videos, do actually mention it to me, because I do appreciate if anything that's been missed is actually pointed out to me, saying, oh Luke, you've missed this, this is what happened at this point. I will take that on board and we mention it in the next video, and we just do that over and over again, because there's a lot of information going on these videos. So just doing a single pass over like I'm doing right now, watching this, you do miss a lot of stuff. I mean, back when we were doing this a couple of weeks ago, when we still had a few of the cranes, we missed one of the other cranes getting brought down at the same time as the other one. So I did miss that, and I was gutted that I missed it while it was happening. But in any case, guys, I do really appreciate that you guys have watched the video. If you liked it, don't forget to like it. If you want to share it, please, you're more than welcome to share it. And if you want to share some feedback to me, that is greatly appreciated as well, because this helps the channel grow. And just bear in mind, once this stadium is finished, I will be branching out into other things. So take care, have a great week, and peace.